Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with yet another video. This is going to be a comic book haul video, a very special comic book haul video. Today being May the 3rd. This won't be my average comic book haul. It's not based upon any comic books that have came out recently. This will be a comic book haul based off of, as it says in the description, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And before I get into this video, I want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for liking, sharing, and commenting. Please continue to do so and tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Today is May the 3rd, and we are only 2 days out before the world premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will come out on Friday, May the 5th. However, the special premiere will be tomorrow, May the 4th. And I will be attending that special premiere at MJR Theater. I can't wait to see it. I've been waiting for this film for the longest. It's been delayed due to various things, including limited to the firing originally of James Gunn from Marvel, and then the rehiring of James Gunn to Marvel, and then of course the pandemic. The pandemic delayed a lot of things as well. With Marvel Productions. So we are about to get our first screening of this movie in a couple of days, as I've just mentioned. And again, this is going to be part 3 of the saga, which will be a trilogy within the MCU. Outside of the Avengers, saga, Infinity Saga, and what's going on now, what they're calling the multiverse saga. The Guardians of the Galaxy has performed quite well. It's actually a franchise that stands on its own outside of the Avengers, unlike any of the other franchises and Marvel productions. This one is very significant and unique. It's almost like Marvel competing with itself, and that's, to me, a huge and very, very good accomplishment. This is going to be the second film in Phase 5. As we know, Phase 4 ended with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And James Gunn has gone on record to say, that the first film, Volume 1, was the relationship of Peter Quill with his Star-Lord, also known, aka Star-Lord, or also known as Star-Lord, with his mother. The second one was with the father, and then this one will be a relationship with self. Really dealing with all of the characters, not just Star-Lord, but this film will mainly be focused on the guy you see in front of you, which I've showed in a video before. I did an unboxing of him, and that is Rocket Raccoon. Voiced by, was it Bradley Cooper? I think that's his name, right? So yeah, this is going to be a movie based on the origin of this particular character. But this is going to be my comic book haul dedicated to Guardians of the Galaxy, since this is going to be the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie as we know it, as has been said on record. I wanted to go out, do a comic book haul, kind of going out with a bang or big bang with this final adaptation of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is going to be all the Guardians of the Galaxy comic books that I've collected over the past few years. I have to apologize. There's a noisy dog outside. My neighbors, they consistently have this dog outside barking at everything and everyone. So if you hear a noise, please ignore it. I definitely will. I just wanted to apologize if you should happen to hear a dog barking in the background. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and get into this haul. As you see the bust of Rocket sitting on top of one of the short boxes that I got for Guardians of the Galaxy a couple of years back. And again, this is not going to be every single Guardians of the Galaxy comic book that's ever come out. It's, again, the ones that I've collected. And we're really going to just be viewing the covers of the books, and then also some of the writers and artists who have contributed to Guardians of the Galaxy in Marvel Comics. All right, so first we're going to move this guy out of the way, and I want to show you the artwork on the short box too. You see the top of the box, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to lower the camera a bit, and you can see a little bit more. And there is Rocket Raccoon again, standing in front of his colleagues with blasters, blasters blazing. You know, it's Rocket. You know, he's a wild guy. He's kind of out there. He has a lot of attitude, a lot of personality. Here is the side of the box. If you can see that, there's Star-Lord and all the members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. There's his crew, Groot in the background. There's Drax, Lady Gamora, and then again Rocket Raccoon. Okay, so that's the side of the short box there, and then on the back is a repeat of the artwork I just showed you, just an expanded edition, so to speak. Beautiful art box, by the way, or short box. I collect these, as you know if you've been watching my videos. This was designed by NECA, and this came out, I don't know, I think this box came out about, I think in probably 2014 or 15, when the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie premiered. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm glad to have it. And inside the box are all of my Guardians of the Galaxy comic books. I'm going to take the top off here. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way and start unloading these books so you can get a look at them. Okay, I'm sitting that on the floor there. That thing is quite heavy. Let's see. Okay, all right. All right, so here are the first Guardians of the Galaxy books. Just going to move this camera up a tad. Get this a little closer. There we go. And I'm at my workstation. It's just convenient for me to do this at my workstation for right now. I was going to do it in the collection room, but I don't have any room in there to do it right now because the collection room is kind of under reconstruction, so to speak. So I brought the books out here to my workstation. And I film most of my comic book hauls out here anyway. And again, it's a little bit more convenient for me to do it that way at the present time. And so we start off with an original Guardians of the Galaxy comic book from back in the day. This is back in I think back in the 80s, probably. And this is actually the original Guardians of the Galaxy team right here, which features Yondu, Starhawk, and I don't know the names of these other characters. But this is when comic books were 25 cents. This is from the Bronze Age. This is a Bronze Age comic book. It's in what I would say it's not in mint condition, but it's in pretty good condition. Okay. All right, and I don't have the exact year when this was when this was printed. And then here's a reprint of it. It's $3.99. This is a reprint of the original. So I have the reprint and then the original print of this book. Cool cover there. And Starhawk, if I'm correct, is played by Sylvester Stallone, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. All right. Okay, so that's that. Then we have another Bronze Age Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. When comics were 30 cents. And of course, featuring a lot of dialogue on the cover. Not very many comic books do that anymore. You barely see that, but I love that. I love that classic look, that classic comic book look. And this is not a reprint. This is original Marvel Comics Group comic book of Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. Very, very cool there. Anything on that? No, nothing back there. And yet another. As you see, I've been collecting comic books for a very long time. And again, these are from the 80s. This is a 25 cents comic book. Guardians of the Galaxy Into the Maw of Badness. Okay. And again, this is the original Guardians of the Galaxy team. All right. And yet another. And this is Guardians of the Galaxy featuring the Beyonder. All right. And some new characters. And this is actually, I believe this is a reformation, if I'm saying that right, of the Guardians of the Galaxy team. Still not the team that we've come to know in the movies. We'll see them eventually on the covers. And then here's a very cool Guardians of the Galaxy. This is issue number, I guess, 50. This is a very cool foil cover here. That is really cool. I wish you could really see that, but this is kind of embossed. It's not just foil, it's kind of embossed. They don't do very many comics like this anymore. They're very expensive, I'm sure very expensive to make. You know, and with the fluctuation of the comic book market nowadays, it's probably rare that you would even see anything like this anyway, because of the cost of paper, and I've covered that before, you know, and cardboard and what it takes to actually make a comic book. A lot goes into making comic books. A lot of people don't know that, especially if you don't read them. And most of your knowledge of superheroes is based off of movies. But I'm glad mine is not. Of course, I appreciate and love the movies, but I'm glad that most of my comic book knowledge comes directly from comic books. All right. And here's another. I guess this is still Bronze Age. Yep. You see, it's Yondu and Starhawk going at it with each other, which actually happened in the movie, in Volume 2. I mean, they didn't actually fight, but there was some animosity between the two, due to a situation that involved Yondu and Peter Quill. All right. And now here is another character who's not a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. However, this is a character that will be featured in the movie, and this is no mystery. This is not giving anything away, because if you've seen the trailers, you would know that. But again, a lot of people are not familiar who don't read comic books. They're not familiar with a lot of the characters. This is a new character that will be introduced, Adam Warlock. This is the Adam Warlock Chronicles, and this is another foil print book. This is from the Infinity Crusade. This is from the Infinity Crusade storyline. This is an Infinity Crusade crossover, as it says it right there on the cover. And this is when cost of comic books start going up. Excuse me. And this is still during the Bronze Age, but comics were now $2.95. All right. Of course, comic books now are like $4.99 on up. But yeah, this is a very cool classic cover from the 90s. So I guess I can't really say this bronze. This is probably more so close to contemporary, or between contemporary and bronze. But anyway, yeah, and I forgot the name of the young man who will be playing this character. But the Marvel had the red carpet for Guardians of the Galaxy last week, Thursday, April 27th, and he was on the red carpet, introducing himself and explaining, his character and whatnot in the movie. But yeah, and then here's another Warlock comic book, and the Infinity Watch. This is collector's first edition for collector's item of Warlock. This was the appearance of the character in his first solo comic book. And here, actually, we have a 30th anniversary celebration of the Fantastic Four on here too. Isn't that interesting? But yeah, this is the aftermath of the Infinity Gauntlet, because Warlock was actually introduced in the Infinity Gauntlet saga in the comic books. We didn't see him, of course, in the what was it, Avengers Infinity War. Because again, as I said, my knowledge of comic books, of comic book characters, or comic book movies comes directly from the comic books. Let me rephrase that. My knowledge of comic book characters comes directly from the comic books before the movies. And I know that Warlock was actually instrumental in defeating Thanos in the comic books. But of course, we get a retelling of that in the movies. And then the MCU hadn't really necessarily had a hold of all of the characters that were needed to tell the Infinity Saga or the Infinity War in the movies during the time that the film was actually done. Okay, I hope you understood all of that. I hope that made sense. And then more of the Warlock Chronicles. Don't worry, we're gonna get back to the Guardians of the Galaxy in a moment. I just wanted to show this character since he is finally being introduced into the big screen. A lot of comic book collectors have been waiting to see Adam Warlock for the longest now, and to my understanding, they wanted to introduce him a long time ago. But again, what we see, what's done on screen, what's done in books can't necessarily be done on screen, based off of certain legalities and creative differences and responsibilities and whatnot. Anyway, so Warlock Chronicles: Reflections of a Golden Man, and of course he has golden skin, and this is number 5 of an 8-issue limited series. Okay. And then we have that cover again. I have 2 versions of this. Very interesting. All right. Okay, and then as promised, we get back into Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is again, these stories are in no particular order. These Guardians of the Galaxy books that I'll be showing you. Some of them were crossovers into other stories. Some were independent stories, just dealing with the Guardians themselves. This is Brian Michael Bendis, who did a story which was a crossover into the trial of Jean Grey. Of course, Jean Grey from the X-Men. And this character here, I think her name is Angela. She's an Asgardian, the sister of Thor, something to that effect. All right. Then here's another cover. And this is, I think, again, I believe Brian Michael Bendis was writing these stories here. So this is more of contemporary comic book dealing with the Guardians of the Galaxy. All right, so I'm going to take those down. And let's see. Okay. Yeah. So let's take this batch of comic books down. Oh, you know what? I'm missing. It's something I missed. I'll just put it with this next batch of comics. So here is, from Astonishing Tales, 25 cents, an original Guardians of the Galaxy. This features all of the original, again, once the original group, or the original team, I should say, of the Guardians as they first appeared. This is this sensational special issue of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I have this basically in a very, very special Mylar. I need to get this baby CGC to get the value of the value of it and whatnot. Although I don't plan on selling it, but yeah. So that's an original Guardian, the original Guardians of the Galaxy team right there, before Star-Lord, before Gamora, and again the team as we got to know them. We gotten to know them. All right. Okay. Let's see here. I want to try to keep this stuff in some kind of order. I can. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Back to our haul here. So yeah, and here is the Marvel previews. which features Rocket on the cover there. Very, very cool artwork there. That's by Steve McNiven, and this is written by a series by Brian Michael Bendis back in 2013. As you see what it says here on the cover, the most anticipated new series of 2013. Again, I've been collecting Guardians of the Galaxy comic books for quite some time now. Like I said, I won't say I have every single book that has come out, but you know, I've tried to keep up with them, and at least I should say the stories that interested me. All right. Okay. Let's turn this around. And then here's the actual book right here. This is issue number 3, which features Rocket. Very, very cool cover there. I love that. I love that artwork. Okay, Brian Bendis, McNiven, Pichelli. I guess, I'm probably wrong. I think this may be Sarah Pichelli that drew this. All right. Okay. All right, my apologies there. Here's another number 1 of Guardians of the Galaxy. The series would stop and then start over again, as is common with both Marvel and DC Comics. But yeah, this is Guardians of the Galaxy number 1, also written by Brian Michael Bendis. This is just a preview. From the Marvel previews. I've also been collecting Marvel previews for a long time too. Okay, and this is a 0.1 Guardians of the Galaxy. Very interesting cover there. And this is a throwback to when Peter Quill was a kid. And this story has already been told in the movies. So yeah. All right. Okay. Or I should say in volume 1. And here's Guardians of the Galaxy issue 10 by Brian Michael Bendis. And again, these books are not in order, okay? So I'm just presenting them as I show them. All right, that's a cool cover there featuring Gamora, Star-Lord, and what did I say her name is? Angela? Yeah, Angela. The Asgardian. She temporarily joined the group. And here's Lady Gamora slicing away at the Chitauri. And we've seen the Chitauri, of course, in the first Avengers film. And of course, you know that Gamora is one of the daughters of Thanos. His second daughter, of course, being Nebula, who he abuses. Has abused over the years. And here's another cover. This is issue number 22. And it looks like that's who is that on the cover? Venom on the cover there. Venom temporarily, I guess, participated with the Guardians. So did Captain Marvel. Okay. Yep, so there he is again. And there's a bunch of Venomites there. And that's issue number 21. It looks like the lethal protector version of Venom. And then here is Groot and Venom taking on a bunch of Skrulls. All right. Cool cover there. And then on the back, I'm not sure what's going on there. I know that's Drax and Lady Gamora. I don't remember half of these stories. I read most of them, but I don't remember half of them. That's from years ago. And here is another. That's a really nice cover there. And that features Angel. I think this may have been her first appearance with the Guardians, if I'm correct. Okay. And this is drawn by Sarah Pichelli. And this is a variant edition of issue number 12. Okay. Very cool there. And I think another variant edition. This is issue number 23. And I'm not sure who the art Shitey? I don't remember that person's first name. But yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 23. And there's Rocket, of course, on the cover there. Okay, and so that ends that batch of comics. Let's move into the next batch. If I may, if I might. Again, this is a large haul here, as I said before. Here's issue number 18 by Brian Michael Bendis. This is Grounded, from the Grounded storyline of Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's a nice drawing of, again, Angela on the cover there. It looks like we have Falcon right there, Doctor Strange, and some other superheroes in the background. There's Hercules, Spider-Man, The Thing, Nova, and looks like Cyclops here, and Miles Morales, the Hulk. Yeah. I think this is a story when they weren't in space anymore. Some event or cataclysm happened where they ended up on Earth, and that's why it's called Grounded. And you see more of the earthly superheroes here, including Black Panther. Yeah. Right, there's America Chavez there. All right, very cool. And there's, of course, Gamora. And we have Groot there. Very interesting drawing. Issue number 16. All right. And then here is when the Guardians, I guess they split up. And then we have the end with the question mark there. It was just the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy as we know them. Okay. In comic book form, in the comic book stories anyway. Another cool cover right here of the Guardians of the Galaxy. That is really nice. Loving that cover, man. Again, we're mainly just highlighting the covers, and I do know that in the Guardians movie that he's going to have an outfit on closely resembling this. Okay. All right. And this is from the Infinity Saga storylines, which featured the Guardians. Okay. There's some kind of a little promo card or something like that from a scene from the Guardians of the Galaxy, I think Volume 2. They did some kind of parody. This was actually featured in the movie. I think that was actually in the DVD too. All right, promotional scene, parody from the movie, from the deleted scenes or additional scenes from the movie. Here's a 100th anniversary. Not of, I think it was 100th anniversary of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, or 100 issues, variant edition. Very cool cover there. All right. And that is really nice. That's a nice drawing. This is from the Guardians of the Galaxy Annual. And that's a nice drawing of Gamora. Loving that. Also features Rocket and some other characters. There's Groot. That's a really cool cover there. And then here's the Guardians 3000 #1 throwback again to the original Guardians, which I've already showed you those covers. But this is more of a modern drawing of them. And again, I don't know all the names of all these characters, of the original Guardians characters. I just know we have Starhawk and Yondu, were actually part of the original Guardians team. Okay. Here's the introduction of Grounded, issue number 1 in the, issue number 1 of that story. And then, of course, here's Star-Lord battling Thanos. And this was, I think, Brian Michael Bendis' final, what am I trying to say here? His final his final run is what I'm trying to say with Guardians of the Galaxy. As you see here, Bendis' big time bye-bye blowout. And this is more closer to what the uniform or outfit that Star-Lord and his team will be wearing in the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And we have Spider-Man on the Guardians of the Galaxy cover here. And this is still on the Bendis run. I think this came out around Christmas. Then we have Guardians of the Galaxy from the Monsters Unleashed line, which I thought was pretty cool. This creature here almost looks like the same creature that's used in one of my favorite comic books from Boom Studios, Something is Killing the Children. There's a similarity in how that's drawn. Anyway, this is from the Monsters Unleashed line. This is by an artist, writer by the last name of Bowers. I don't know what his first name is. And back to Bendis again. When he was still writing Guardians of the Galaxy stories. Here's another cool cover here. Galaxy's Most Wanted starts now. Okay. All right, we're back again to the Bendis run of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. All right. And we'll see what's on the back here. There's Rocket again. Loving these covers, absolutely. I dig that. All right. Looks like Gamora and Drax going at it with each other. And as you know, in the first movie, they really couldn't stand each other. So this is kind of a payoff to that particular movie, that particular volume of the movie. If that made sense. Oh, look at that. That's a nice cover there. And that is Star-Lord, by the way. I believe. Yes, it is. And behind him looks like a bunch of androids or droids. It looks like Ultron, almost. Yeah. Here's another Marvel previews previewing a new #1 of the Guardians. And there is the #1 right there. Okay. Yes, these are all out of order. So what? Here's tomorrow's Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, another #1. Cool cover there. And of course, I've never considered the Guardians are not the Avengers. I want to make that clear. The Guardians are not the Avengers. The Guardians are the Guardians. They're the Guardians of the Galaxy, just as they're named. It's a completely separate team from the Avengers. They helped the Avengers to defeat Thanos, and they fought alongside the Avengers. But the Guardians of the Galaxy are not the Avengers. I repeat again, for all those watching this video, they are not the Avengers. Okay, so that's the end of this particular lot of comic books. I'm going to try to show them all. I really am. That's my objective. Okay? All right. So, nice. These out. Okay, and here is my next batch of comics, and this is from the War of the Realms era, which came out of, I don't know, about 6-7 years ago. All right, and this is Donny Cates, the infamous Donny Cates, and his run on the Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. And there's Star Fox there. There's who's this? God, how can I forget his freaking name? See, Star Fox, Ghost Rider. I don't know who that is right there. There's Nebula, and man, I cannot remember his name for the life of me too. Very important character who we have not seen yet. In any Marvel film. I'll be glad when they finally introduce him, but man, I forgot his name. And then there's, of course, Thanos on the back there. And again, this is part of the Donny Cates run. Also part of the Donny Cates run. Right here. More Donny Cates, and there's Beta Ray Bill. Forgot the name of her character. Okay. And some other characters on here that I also cannot remember their names. I'm so sorry. All right, here's Donny Cates and Jeff Shaw. That is really that's really nice. This is #1, issue #1. And then here's the Marvel previews that actually shows that issue. This is during the time of the 80-year celebration of Marvel Comics. Covered by David Marquez. Who will stand when the last Guardians fall? Okay. This is during Free Comic Book Day. And of course, by the way, Free Comic Book Day is coming up this upcoming Saturday, which will be May the 6th, 2 days after or a day after the world release of Guardians of the Galaxy. What a coincidence. So we had a Free Comic Book Day featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy on the cover. As you can see here, very nice. And Free Comic Book Day Rocket Raccoon, and that's of course the artwork of let's see, what is his name? Is Scotty Young. That's Scotty Young. Artwork. I recognize his artwork. There you go. So Free Comic Book Day comics. More Guardians of the Galaxy from the Trial of Jean Grey. This is part 6 of 6. I'm going to have to put these books in order at some point in time. All right. This is a double-sized anniversary issue. Okay. These Guardians of the Galaxy from the original Sin storyline, which was a really good. That was a really good story. This is issue number 19 from that storyline. Here's issue number 20. All right, then here's Guardians of the Galaxy with Captain Marvel on the cover. And we see in the background Groot. We see Groot, Lady Gamora, Drax, and of course Rocket Raccoon. And my apologies for the noisy dog, man. And then we have Star-Lord on this cover here. Looks like he's in trouble, man. But he got some burn issues going on there. Yeah, it looks like some dudes coming after him for real. All right. Then another very cool cover here of the Guardians. This is issue number 17. And we're back to the Brian Bendis run again. Okay. And then back to Original Sin, Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 18. Okay. And then, yeah, so that's the end of this lot. So, yeah. Whew. Got a lot of books here, man. Stick with me, y'all. Stick with me. I hope that you do. All right. So, let's see. Okay. And then here's one of my favorite storylines here from Marvel. This is the Black Vortex. Which featured the Guardians of the Galaxy in this particular storyline. This is a really interesting story. Yep, Guardians of the Galaxy and the X-Men both participated in this particular storyline. And here's another book from the Black Vortex saga, Guardians of the Galaxy and X-Men. And this is Black Vortex Omega. I think the other one was Alpha. Here's Guardians of the Galaxy Restart, issue number 1 on one of the Marvel previews. All new Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, as I mentioned, that Marvel does a lot. They restart a lot of their storylines with issue number 1s. Here is Brian Michael Bendis covering the Guardians of the Galaxy in the Civil War 2 story, which was, of course, a sequel to Civil War. Excuse me. Okay. And we have another Civil War 2 entry of the Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 12. It looks like Gamora and Captain Marvel going at it with each other. Locked in combat. Yes, they are. Okay, and that's issue number 13. And back to the Black Vortex story again. Guardians of the Galaxy issue number 25. Yes, they're out of order, so what? I'm just kidding, y'all. All right. And this is another Brian Michael Bendis entry. The Guardians of the Galaxy, their own story, or their maxi series. And then here we get into Star-Lord, where he had his own run for a while. Marvel was doing one-shots of Star-Lord for a while, and the covers, the pages in these books are actually black and white. Pretty neat. And this is called Tears for Heaven, Star-Lord. Then we have the Hollow Crown, Star-Lord, Guardians of the Galaxy, another one-shot. This is a $7.99 comic, pretty expensive. And then we have Worlds of the Brink, Star-Lord. Okay. I'm going to show you something really special too in a moment. And then here's a Star-Lord Annual by Chip Zdarsky. Another expensive comic book. And Star-Lord from the Annihilation Conquest. Okay, and that's closer to the outfit that he's actually going to be wearing in the movie. But I wanted to show you this. Here's the original Star-Lord as he appeared in, what's this, a Marvel Super Special magazine, $1.50. And this is actually Star-Lord and Gamora. That's how she originally was drawn and how Star-Lord was originally drawn. This is a book from the Silver Age. This is from the Silver Age. And I went online to see that I need to get this CGC'd. I went online to see the value of this book, and I do know to get one of these now. In mint condition, they can run anywhere between $50 to $400. I need to get this baby CGC because when I seen it on Amazon recently, I seen one for like $50, then another one for like $400. So I don't know. I definitely need to get this CGC. Okay. So yes, Star-Lord and his own individual books. And I don't just collect books just to flip them. I'm not really a comic flipper, you know. But of course, it is good to get your books, get the rating and value of your books if you are a collector like I am. All right, so let's continue. And we have Rocket Raccoon, Tales from Half-World. This is another kind of costly, expensive comic book. This was like $7.99. And the interesting thing about this book is it actually gets into like the origins of Rocket. And as I mentioned, Volume 3 will get into the origin of Rocket Raccoon and will feature his love interest, a character by the name of Lily the Otter, who's actually featured in this book. And she's played by actress Linda Cardellini. And Linda Cardellini was actually the wife of Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner's screen wife in the Disney Plus series Hawkeye. And she was, of course, her character name, of course, was Laura Barton, married to Jeremy Renner's Clint Barton character in the TV show. But anyway, she'll be voicing Lily the Otter, who is Rocket's love interest in the movie, if that makes sense. It will when you go see the movie. Here's Groot #1. I think this was written by Scotty Young. It came out a couple of years ago. It was a mini-series, I think. All right. And here is issue #2 of Groot #1, which features a menagerie of different Marvel characters. And here is I Am Groot #1. And there was actually a Marvel animated Marvel let's see. Let me retract this. Retract my statement here. Marvel did some animated shorts on Disney Plus, and they were called I Am Groot. They were actually based off of this comic book series. Okay, you can check them out on Disney Plus if you have it. Nothing spectacular about them. They were just little cute little shorts, about 5 minutes long. All right, so that's the end of this batch of comics. Let's see if we can go ahead and wind this up with some more, or the last group of comics that I think I have for Guardians of the Galaxy. This is probably one of the long. I said this was going to be a super long comic book haul, or feature a lot of comic books. I wasn't kidding, man. This is probably one of the longest comic books hauls I've ever done. But I thought I would go out, go big time with this, since this is going to be, again, the last last Guardians of the Galaxy movie as we know it. I think I've already showed this book. This is Donny Cates and his run. It's issue number 1, him and Jeff Shaw. I think I just showed this, but this is a Marvel preview, another Marvel previews. I guess I had more than one Marvel previews of this. Oh, what is this? A Man Called Nova? Okay, well, I don't think he's going to be in the movie. Oh, Quasar. Wow. Yeah. Okay, all right. I think that's it. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, these other books have nothing to do with... Okay, so that's it. Oh, I have one more book to show you. The Guardians of the Galaxy has started over again with a new number 1, and we'll just put that right there. Lansing, Kelly, Walker, and Hollingsworth. This is a new series of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Just started about 2 weeks ago, and that's a really cool cover there. I like that. I haven't read it yet, but okay. Oh my God, man, that's it. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Let's see. So yeah, this isn't a comic book, but this was Entertainment Weekly, and this is from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. But I just wanted to just show you this. This is came out a couple years back. I thought it was a really cool cover. April, May. Came out between April and May of 2017. Wow, and we're now in 2023. That was right before the 2 years before the pandemic. Wow. Yeah. Yep. A lot went on after this movie. We didn't ever think we were going to see another Guardians of the Galaxy movie again. But of course, James Gunn is now in charge of DC and the DCU, and he's right now he's about to get ready to spearhead the DCU in terms of restructuring it, which it very much needs. And he's working on He's working on the Superman movie. To my understanding, he's actually wrote the script for it and will be directing it. So it makes sense, of course, that this will be his last movie with... I don't really think this will be his last movie with Marvel. I think that he'll probably produce some future films with Marvel, including... I just showed the book. I think he'll probably... Because he's more so, I think, into the intergalactic characters. So he'll probably either... I hope that he does either Nova or Quasar or this guy here. Let me show you if I have that in here still. Yeah, the Sentry. So those are other characters that he could do in terms of directing. But I think more so he'll probably act as a producer with the MCU now, since he'll be taking on huge responsibilities with the DCU. So that's it. That's all, y'all. I hope that you've enjoyed this long comic book haul. I hope that I didn't bore you. I know this is quite lengthy, but again, I thought I would, I do something huge and spectacular since this is the final Guardians of the Galaxy movie as we know it. Okay, so the movie comes out this Friday. I hope that you enjoyed this comic book haul. Happy Comic Book Wednesday. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Give the video a thumbs up. And thank you all for joining me. Please go go see the movie. I'm sure you all will. Hope that you'll enjoy the film when it comes out. And that's it. That's all, y'all. Peace, love, and hair grease.